Welcome into WYCE's Community Close-Up. This is our weekly public affairs program produced in partnership with Rapidian, our hyper-local news service here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. Community Close-Up is all about bringing you a diverse perspective of viewpoints from community leaders and nonprofit organizations throughout West Michigan. This is WYCE station manager in studio with a long overdue guest. Sharon Caldwell-Newton is executive director at CSNIP. CSNIP.org is their website. Everything we talk about and a lot more will be at that website. Sharon and I have, I think, probably recorded, I'm going to guess, close to a dozen interviews over the years, and it's good to finally get you here at YCE.
Well, thank you.
And congratulations on your new home over in Walker on Remembrance, right?
Yeah, it's right off of Leonard between Remembrance and just west of Remembrance. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it still feel new? Does it still smell new?
It does still feel new, but it's quickly becoming, one of those places where you feel like, has it really been 5 months since we moved in?
Wow. Yeah, I knew it was the end of the year.
Yeah.
CSNIP does a lot of things. You are really all about helping make sure those who may not be able to afford veterinary care, even services as simple but as important as spaying and neutering, that's kind of your original thing. You're there for a lot of other animals and people who love those animals that would normally fall through the gap. You're there for them, and you serve I didn't realize this, Sharon. CSNIP serves a massively large geographic area, 10-county community. Now, this is radio. Can you paint a picture for us of kind of the service area for CSNIP?
Yeah. So if you think about Michigan and that western edge kind of coming from the lakeshore on into Kent County, we go from as far south as Van Buren County, which is really at the edge of Michigan, Illinois, all the way on up to Oceana County, which is beyond like Ludington, but right along the lakeshore. Yeah. And the reason that we have served such a large county or a large region of 10 counties is because there are so many needs for affordable veterinary services, and there's a lot of rural area along that region. So CSNIP, can't have a operation in every county. So people have come to us throughout our years to access that care.
And it's a really dramatic need. I'm looking at some numbers. You provide between 10 to 12,000 spay-neuter surgeries per year, which is critical because that keeps the explosion of, homeless or stray kittens and puppies out of shelters and just out of being out on the street. In fact, we had one of our coworkers recently tell us about a kitten that was found in a field that one of her family members found, and unfortunately the kitten was so injured and so beyond help that they had to put the kitten down. And it was like a 5 or 6 week old kitten. That's a tiny microcosm of how serious the problem can be without the services you guys provide. But it's a broad range of services, Sharon, at CSNIP that you provide. You're talking about on your website, I love this, and I put this in my notes, the power of the human-animal bond and how you really kind of come alongside people who want to save an animal, want to help an animal, but maybe are stretched because of their financial resources, and that's where you guys come in. I know CSNIP has been around a while, probably decades here in West Michigan. Can you tell us a little bit about the history? How long have you guys been around?
Yeah, so we started the organization in 2001. So 24 years we've been operating in the region, more specifically here in Kent County. And you are so right on target, Phil. The original purpose that CSNIP was started was to prevent, the overpopulation of companion animal pets through spay and neuter. And, you know, when you think about, I mean, I'm of the age that I can remember back, you know, 40 years ago, 50 years ago even, when it wasn't that uncommon to see dogs running loose in a neighborhood. I think, you know, the value of pets have really changed societally and culturally, but there are still many free roaming cats. Even if they are pets, they are indoor, outdoor, and if they're not spayed and neutered, they will multiply, and then the population gets out of control. That's where you find situations like the story you relayed, the kitten that's, you know, in a field. Maybe it was born there, maybe somebody dumped it, you know, dropped it off there. But, you know, there are so many, I mean, spay and neuter is a simple procedure, and it prevents so many tragedies and unfortunate situations. So we've said that's the way to prevent that. That's the way to control the shelter populations. That's the way for pet parents and pet families not to get overwhelmed with unplanned puppies and kittens. And so we've been doing high volume spay neuter at CSNIP for 24 years.
It's really amazing. And also providing vaccinations, wellness and prevention checkups, dental care, which is a big thing for pets, dental extractions, other type of surgical treatments and procedures. You have an online pharmacy and a lot of other services, and 15 to 17,000 pets annually vaccinated. Those vaccines are very important as well too, because they prevent other illnesses and concerns for health for a healthy dog or cat. In terms of how people interact with you, let's talk about that, Sharon Caldwell-Newton. People know about CSNIP. Hopefully they've heard about it in this conversation on the radio, but they may not know if they qualify for services. Someone comes in the door. Is it a no questions asked? How does someone enter CSNIP and find out if they're eligible for services or not?
Well, that's a great question. I'll start first with kind of the qualifications. So at CSNIP, we target our services to those pet owners that fall in that gap. They don't have a regular veterinarian. They do not often have the financial resources to, you know, to pay for routine or crisis-oriented vet care in particular. And so that's our target. Those tend to be the same populations that maybe some of your listeners have heard about United Way, and in the human service world, there's a term called ALICE. They are the asset limited, income constrained, but employed population. These are people who are working full-time jobs, but they don't make enough money to have anything left over after they pay for their basic needs. And that's who we target. But we do not income qualify, Phil. Our organization operates with an open door. We trust that the people who need our services need our services.
Right.
We do not want to create any barriers for those individuals to get our services. Now, if somebody is using our services and they are asking for additional financial assistance from our client assistance fund to subsidize or slide the fee even lower than our already reduced price, that will involve a conversation with those individuals more about their need and some of the, you know, extraneous circumstances. But we are open. And, you know, we find that there are people who on paper don't appear to be financially constrained, but due to life circumstances at the moment that their pet needs care, they may not have those financial resources. We do not want to put barriers in front of anyone who's trying to take care of their pet and is having difficulty accessing that care. So we do operate with an open door. People typically hear about us more through word of of mouth, because as a nonprofit, we don't have money allocated for, advertising and a lot of marketing. We love the opportunity like today to come on public venues and share more about what we do, but they hear about us often through family, friends, their social network, and then they give us a call, they go online, and they can request an appointment for their pet, whether that's an appointment for spay neuter or an appointment for some of the other services you mentioned, like wellness and prevention. And then from there, we have a conversation with them just to gather health history of their pet, talk to them more about the fact that, while our care and the quality of our care is great, we run kind of a no-frills operation, and that's how we keep our prices low. So, people, when they come in the morning to drop off their pet, they might have to wait for a half an hour to get, into the line and get through. But that's how, again, we can keep our prices, below the market.
We're speaking with Sharon Caldwell-Newton. She's executive director at CSNIP here in West Michigan. CSNIP.org. CSNIP.org is the website. You can learn more. I knew this was going to be a time constraint. We have just a couple of minutes left. A couple of critical things we want to touch on. You are really welcoming donations because you're not funded by massive grants from the federal government.
No.
And private donations are a huge part of what back you. I know you did a capital campaign, and that's probably still ongoing for the building you're in. But I do want to encourage people, they can donate through your website.
Yes, and we did successfully complete our capital campaign, great. But like I mentioned, our Client Assistance Fund allows people to donate, and that helps us be able to slide our fee when a pet owner needs extra financial support, and it allows us just to be here in the community and keep our fees and prices affordable.
Yeah, which is really wonderful. Volunteer support, do you need that occasionally?
We absolutely need volunteers, and now that we're in our new expanded facility, we have more volunteer needs. Those are also outlined on our website, and there's an application that people can fill out online as well.
I want to also, before we wrap up, we've got about a minute left, I want to have our listeners put a date on their calendar. October 29th is your annual Wags and Whiskers event. This is your big fundraiser and auction happening this year at WYCE Center. I think I saw that online. When can people engage in terms of getting tickets and getting involved with that, Sharon?
Yeah, I think tickets will go on sale around the middle part of the summer, so maybe July, and then I'd love the opportunity to come back later in the summer, early fall, and talk with you more about that event. It's a fun event, and I know your listeners would love to learn more about it.
I'm getting excited about it myself. Absolutely. Well, this has been fun, and thank you on behalf of all of us at WYCE for what you do in West Michigan, creating a real legacy of caring for pets and strengthening that human-animal bond. I can't imagine West Michigan without a CSNIP. CSNIP.org. Sharon Caldwell-Newton, the executive director at CSNIP. Thank you for being here, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
This has been WYCE's Community Close-Up, our weekly public affairs program, produced along with the Rapidian, our hyper-local news service, at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. I'm WYCE Station Manager Phil Tower. We'll catch you next week.